Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Right, quite a random video here again. Some of you probably read the title and thought this bit of information came out like 4 days ago, Duck. You call yourself a news channel? You are so out of touch. How dare you like talk about something that's 4 days old? Fuck you. Yeah, I just want to talk about this. I'm sorry. Yeah, Chrom, Lucina, and Fiora are gonna be in Project Cross Zone 2. Now, a good portion of you probably don't know what the fuck I just said there, so let's break it down, shall we? Project Cross Zone was a game for the 3DS, this right here, and it was basically a crossover of Capcom, Namco, and Sega, alright? They took characters from all those publishers, put them into one game, and yeah, that's it. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? And, this sort of thing is actually already sort of a series. We've had, crap, I meant to double check this before turning on the camera, but we had, like, Namco X Capcom, which I think was, like, the first in the series, but then Sega was like, hey, we want in on this as well. Interestingly, I think the publisher who had the biggest stake in this game, out of those three, was Namco. Because they published it outside Japan. I'm not actually sure even. They probably were the ones to publish it in Japan as well. I'd imagine. But yeah, but not only that, it's made by Monolith Soft, the Xenoblade guys, who are owned by Nintendo, okay? And that always confused me. It's like, why is Monolith Soft, who's owned by Nintendo, making a game published by Namco? I think the reason is Nintendo owns a majority of the shares for Monolith Soft, making them a first-party developer, making games like, obviously, Xenoblade and all that. But Namco has like a few shares, and they have some sort of contractual obligation to make a game on a Nintendo platform with Namco publishing it, and hence this game came to be, you know. It wasn't supposed to come out of Japan. It was a bit of a fight, not a massive fight, not like an Operation Rainfall. Remember they days? Remember they days? Not that sort of fight, but it was relatively... It was a bit of a struggle getting the game over, but we got it over, and I was mega excited. I went out and bought it day one. I never did beat the game, okay? I got to a point where I had seen every character in the game, because characters unlock as you progress through it. But I didn't actually get to the end, because it's a very repetitive game, and very, very drawn out as well, you know. Maps, it's basically a strategy RPG. Maps can get very big. It's quite, the combo system, as amazing as it is very repetitive, you know, with like one dominant strategy that you have to do all the time. And yeah, it's got flaws, but ultimately I really did like it. It was a brilliant game, you know. And we're getting a sequel, which is amazing, you know. And yeah, they announced obviously new characters for it. Now, the thing about Project Cross Zone, right, is that you're not likely to see something like Sonic or Pac-Man or even Mega Man. You know, that's like the mascot of the three companies involved, okay? The reason you're not likely to see those is because all the characters tend to be more humanoid and anime-esque, you know? And Sonic, Pac-Man, Mega Man don't really fit into that, although... some of you were already typing a comment, eh? Although Mega Man X was actually in the first game. Because, you know, in comparison to classic Mega Man X is more anime, is more humanoid than classic Mega Man. So he was in there with Zero, and that made a lot more sense than putting like Sonic and Tails in here. And I think for Project Cross Zone 2 they're sticking with that, you know. It's like, you look at the lineup of all the new characters, and there's some characters announced that really have me excited. Kazuma Kiryu from the Yakuza games is in there. Hell yes. Phoenix Wright and Maya Fey from Ace Attorney are going to be in there. Yes, that's actually like my two favourite video game characters right there. Kazuma Kiryu and Phoenix Wright. I don't think I've ever talked about that before, but they two, I always think in my head, these two guys that wear suits, they're both like my favourite video game characters ever. And they're going to be in this game. Hell yes. I didn't think anything could top that. Until... not Chrom, Lucina, and Fiora. Segata Sanshiro. Sega Sanshiro is going to be in Project Cross Zone 2. Nothing else matters, right? As soon as I saw that, and this was after Kazuma Kiryu and Phoenix Wright, right? After I saw that, I'm like, that's fucking it. Sega Sanshiro is gonna be in Project Cross Zone 2. I don't know why I didn't make a video on this anyway, because as a Sega fan, that is like the peak of fan service, you know? You can't service a Sega fan much more than having Sega Sanshiro, but whatever. How long we into this video and I haven't even talked about the main point yet. Okay, basically, we got word the other day there that Chrom and Lucina from Fire Emblem Awakening and Fiora from Xenoblade Chronicles are going to be making guest appearances in Project Cross Zone 2. Now, it just strikes me as a bit odd, you know? Like, some of you are like saying, it's just a little addition, but I don't know, this is the sort of stuff that I actually quite enjoyed discussing, you know? Because here's this game that's supposed to be, you know, Sega, Namco, Capcom, and Nintendo's just like, fuck it, take these as well, just put these guys in, you know? So it's like, well, if Nintendo's gonna do it, why don't you go the whole way and have like a whole bunch of Nintendo characters in there, you know? Rather than just like these three, you know? I mean, they could very well announce more, you know? But as it stands right now, if it's just these three, it's gonna come off quite weird to me. Especially, this is something I've also wondered, right? I've got something here to display my point here, right? Here's a Lucina amiibo, and here's a Shulk amiibo, right? You go to the base here, right? That's probably upside down and badly out of focus, but basically, you have sorry Lucina. You have on the bottom here a copyright for Intelligent Systems, and on Shulk it's a copyright from Monolith Soft. And not every amiibo has this, you know, there's one for Game Freak on the Pokemon amiibo, and, you know, various others, but obviously Sega, Namco, and Capcom have their copyrights on Pac-Man, Sonic, and Mega Man. But it's like, these characters and franchises are supposed to be owned by Sega, but they need, like, the trademark. I don't know, it's like, I don't quite get the legality of it. So are these technically, in the context of this game, considered Nintendo characters? And to throw even more, like, again, this is just stuff I love talking about. To throw even more onto the fire here, okay, the game is being made by Monolith Soft. And, you know, Fiora, who is a character from Xenoblade Chronicles X, she is actually in a pair unit, just to quickly clarify. In the first Project Cross Zone, you would have single units and pair units. You'd usually have like a double team, like Mega Man and Zero, and you could pair them up with a single, who would be some other character, you know? And, yeah, Fiora is going to be teaming up with Cosmos from Xenosaga, you know? Cosmos she was in the first game, Cosmos, and she was teamed up with Telos. I haven't played past the first episode of Xenosaga, but I'm assuming Telos comes in later. So at first I was like, why the fuck have you paired up Cosmos with Fiora? That is so fucking random, why would you... And then I thought about it for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, they're both characters made by Monolith, and they're both like mecha women, you know? Because that's the other confusing thing, you know? You got Xenogears on the PS1, you got the Xenosaga trilogy on the PS2, and now you got Xenoblade on Nintendo platforms, right? Those are all three different franchises, owned by three different publishers, okay? But they're all made by Monolith Soft, and it must be quite weird for them making a game with their characters, even though they don't have any, like, control over them. It's weird like, must be weird like that, you know? But yeah, Fiora's gonna be there, Chrom, Lucina, I guess it's... Why are people still wanting Chrom in Smash Brothers? We have enough Fire Emblem guys, okay? Okay? Just like, it's cool that he's in this, okay? But give him peace, alright? Let him have some father-daughter time over there, you know? Fighting with her as opposed to against her and stuff in Smash Brothers, I don't know. But yeah, I think, wasn't there something else I wanted to bring up there? I don't know, like I said, this is just stuff that I quite like discussing, you know? Like all these characters and all their stuff and all that, you know? It's, and you know, that's like the main driving point of Project Cross Zone, you know? if you're gonna buy it to like play a really in-depth strategy RPG, you're probably gonna be disappointed because it's not that, right? It's a competent strategy RPG, but it's not a very fulfilling one. What you really should be buying this, what you should be expecting when you go in to play it, is a shitload of fan service, particularly if you're fans of like these three publishers and all the games that they make. Just be prepared to see a lot of Japan-only characters that you won't fucking recognize, you know, because that happens a lot in Project Crossroad and happened a lot with me anyway. There's like this little girl from a Capcom PS2 dating sim. She looks about 8-year-old. It's like, what? I can't even mind her name, but yeah, she's in there. She's in there. So yeah, Project Cross Zone comes out in February for us. I can't wait. Segata Sanshiro. Right. And again, my two favourite characters of all time in terms of video games, you know, Phoenix Shrine, Kazuma Kiryu, I'm going to be able to play as them also. And now we've got friggin' Fiora, Chrom and Lucina. I'd quite like to see Shulk, you know, Shulk would be nice to see as a solo unit or something, you know. Or other Nintendo characters, we can only wait and see. I don't know if that means like that's the whole roster now been like announced, you know, because we do have a fair amount for all publishers, you know, but we could still get more announcements as time goes on. Probably, yeah, probably the only character I can think of that would get me any sort of like level of hyped up, you know, after Kazuma Kiryu, Segata Sanshiro, Phoenix Wright, and Fiora, Chrom, Lucina. I really am I said in my last video I was on the fence about doing a video on Vocaloid. I am teasing the shit out of that, isn't I? I really should just cave in and do a video on Vocaloid, shouldn't I? But whatever. That's that, guys. See you after. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.